What's up, folks? Dave Swift here. I got some great news. AppSumo is doing it again. It's time for Bundle Volume 2. This is the AI Power Pack. If you were lucky enough to grab Bundle Volume 1, you'll know that this thing is going to sell out quickly. So my goal with this video is twofold. First of all, I want to give you all of the purchasing information up front. Then you can pause the video, use my link in the description, and my thanks to AppSumo for sponsoring today's video. Then come back to the video, unpause it, and we'll go through in detail what each application actually does, my favorite features, so on and so forth. So here is the synopsis of the deal. $49 is going to get you access to not just one, not just two, but all 4 of these tools for 1 year. Now, these are not just any old application. They're not new startups. These are established tools with hundreds of thousands of users. Other things you need to know before I tell you about each individual tool is that the bundle is non-refundable. One of my favorite things about AppSumo is their 60-day return policy. Unfortunately, with this good of a deal, they cannot have that same return policy. It kind of makes sense because people would be keeping accounts and stuff like that. It's also only available to new users of each individual application. So if you've got an existing account, that doesn't mean you can't grab the bundle. It just means you'll have to create a new account. You can't upgrade your existing one. All right, everything makes sense. Here are the tools. We've got Otter AI. This is a transcription meeting notes tool. It can join your Google Meets. It can join your Zoom meetings. But what I really love about the tool is it's got a mobile app, and you can do this on the desktop as well, but you can record in-person meetings. It will do dictation in real time, so you can see the transcript on your screen. I'll demo that for you in a little bit. Next up is Lex. Lex is a word processor, and at first I was kind of like, oh, that's an unusual choice for an AI bundle, but I tried out Lex and I really enjoy it. First of all, it's got great integration with Google Docs, so if your whole business is on Google Docs, well, you can write in Lex, which is a great experience, and then with a single click, go right into Google Docs if you're used to that type of workflow. But once you try out Lex, you might not need to go back to Google Docs. It's got the same collaborative features that you're used to with Google Docs, but it's got a very, very elegant writing experience. So if you're the type of person that wants to use AI in your writing, but you don't want AI to do your writing and then you just kind of go in and change a few words, like if you're actually enjoying writing things, maybe a newsletter or a book, and you still want the help of AI, I think Lex is a great solution, and I'm excited to demo that for you a little bit later on in the video. Next up is FreePik. FreePik is image generation as well as video generation. A lot of very powerful models are included with this deal. Really a great offer. We get a set number of credits for images, video, and audio. As you can see here, they're giving us access to top shelf models like VO3 and Kling 2.1. The final tool is Gumloop. You could think of Gumloop as like an AI first Zapier. It's really meant to build out entire workflows to make things inside of your business a lot easier. The kind of hang up that most people have with these automation tools is they are sold very slickly and like it's gonna make your life so easy, but then you get into it, and unless you're a developer, it can feel very complicated to use. Gumloop is not that way. They've got some great education. They have some guided tutorials to get you up and running. I really like this tool a lot, and I'll demo it in a moment. So that's everything you need to know in just a few minutes here. I think we're 3 or 4 minutes into the video. So go ahead and pause the video now. I've got my link in the description. Grab this if you think it fits. If you still need to be convinced, hang with me. We'll go through each of the individual tools, or hopefully you've already purchased and you've come back, and we'll go through the tools right now. All right, first up is Otter AI. This is a tool that can transcribe darn near anything. You can give it access to your Google account, to your Zoom account, and it can join meetings for you. You can also just hit record on your phone and it will transcribe things in real time. So let's go through a few of my favorite features, kind of the basic setup here. So first of all, if you wanted to just join a meeting and you don't want to really mess around a lot, you can click right up here on this little video icon, paste in the meeting, and get going right away. But you can also connect up your calendar. It will see those meetings, and assuming you give access under the integration settings, it can just join and start taking notes without any action on your part. After the meeting is done, you're going to have a document like this right inside of Otter. It's going to have a summary as well as the full transcript. What I like about the summary section here is you can apply specific templates after the fact. You don't need to plan ahead. Just go ahead and say, oh, this was a sales discovery call, and it's going to go ahead and take the notes with the most important bullet points for a sales discovery call. Of course, you can also chat with your conversations. There is a chatbot inside of each individual document, or if you're back on the home screen, we've got Otter Chat that you can ask about all of your conversations in one go. Now, what I really love is the mobile app for in-person meetings. So if you have a client meeting and you want to take notes on it, just go ahead, set your phone out, let everyone know that you're using AI to record, hit the microphone button, and then we're off and running. It's going to do the transcript in real time. So if you're like, what did you just say? You can actually scroll through while it's actually recording. You can even use the AI chat while it's recording. You can see that I am recording right now and I'm in the AI chat. I can ask a question at the same time, like, does it record at the same time you are chatting with the chatbot? Typed out my question, go ahead and send it in. It's going to answer it here. Yes, it can. We go back to the transcript and you can see that it's been working the entire time. Very, very high quality transcriptions. Of course, it's AI. It's not going to be 100% flawless, but it's going to get you everything you need for those notes. And you know what? It can even generate summaries from in-person meetings as well. So that is Otter AI, and here's what's included. We get 200 monthly minutes for 1 year. You get 10 audio or video file imports, so you can transcribe darn near anything. Of course, we get the AI chat, the advanced meeting summary templates like I showed you, and the bot-free anytime desktop recording. So you don't have to actually have someone join the meetings as long as you are there listening. It's got it's got a Chrome browser that can do that without basically anyone being bothered by having another presence in the meeting. Next up is Lex, a word processor. I've got a document here that I've been working on, aka copy and paste it in, but you can imagine I am a professional writer or I'm working on a newsletter for work. Maybe I'm a copywriter writing a sales page. This is a nice, clean, distraction-free interface. In fact, it gets more distraction-free if I want. There's a complete focus mode right over here, focus session. If I click on this, I can set my goal for the session, how long I want it to last, and then as soon as I do that, like a 30-minute focus session, here we go. The menus get out of the way. There's even a button here to make this full screen. I'm not going to do that, but when you do this, it immerses your entire screen. All of the distractions go away. It's a really great writing experience. So if this were the whole tool, it'd be pretty good. In fact, I use a particular word processor that does this very similarly, but it gets better because AI is baked in. So for example, let's say I wanted to improve this opening sentence of my essay here. I can select the first line and either press Command E or choose Edit. By the way, there are lots of key commands here, and there is a dedicated Mac app, which I really appreciate. But if I wanted to just say, all right, I want to rewrite this opening sentence to be a little bit more engaging, I can go ahead and ask it to right here. All right, then I can obviously submit this, but I wanted to point out, you can also dictate this as well. So if you want to just do things with your voice, you can do that. There's a key command to do it as well. You just hold down the Control key when you press Command E. But let's go ahead and submit this. It's going to give me a rewritten version. It's very Google Docs in its implementation. So you can see the original is crossed out. And here is the more engaging version with gravity-defying dunks and unmatched competitive spirit. Michael Jordan didn't just play basketball, he revolutionized it. All right, I'm going to accept these changes. It's going to go ahead and just insert it right into my document. So it's like having an editor that can oversee specific areas that you are curious about. But of course, you might want it to check your entire document. There is a function for that as well. To show you that, I'm going to get out of focus mode here, and we're going to go over to the checks section right over here. And this is great because even if you're used to using ChatGPT or something similar to check out your writing, you have to write a prompt every single time to make sure that it doesn't do too much to modify your original writing. But the checks are designed to keep the original spirit and just fix problem areas like I want to check the grammar. I can go ahead and do that, then run checks. All right, it's checking my grammar. This only takes a second. That is complete. And now if I look through the document, it's going to look for any errors in grammar, and it looks like I was good. Other checks include brevity, cliches, readability, passive voice, confidence, citations, repetition, custom, so you can basically create your own check, and audience. So if you want to have the terms easier to understand for a specific audience, you can do that. Now, where Lex really stands out is in learning your voice. You can create style guides for Lex so that your existing writing can easily be replicated. So many times we use AI to improve our writing, but it doesn't end up sounding anything like us. Well, no longer, because inside of of Lex, we can upload a style guide of our writing so that as we engage with it, it'll know our taste, our voice, and help you stay true to the writer that you are. So to access the style guides, it's over here under the chat function. Oh, hey, did I mention there's a complete chat bot built in? This is great for kind of broad strokes conversations about the writing, like give me feedback on my draft or flag confusing parts, things like that. By the way, really nice interface here. They've got lots of great prompts to get you going. If you're not really sure how to use this tool, just play around with it and it's going to get you there. But we've got style guides and knowledge bases. So basically we can feed it all of the information we need for the writing to be on point. To create a style guide, you just need to go down here to the bottom, hit the plus button, and we can create a style guide right here. Creating a style guide is very easy. First of all, give it a name because you might want to create multiple style guides if you do different types of content. Then add some examples of your writing, and then it can generate the style and tone from those writings, or you can write your own answer in if you don't like what it generates. Then when you're engaging with the chat, just go ahead and add your style guide as a document, basically a resource that the chat can use in order to give you feedback. So just hit the plus button here once again. Now that your style guide is created, select it, and it's going to be available for feedback when you engage with their chat tool. Now, a little bit earlier, I mentioned that there's a Mac version of this tool. Currently, I'm in the Safari browser, but if I were to minimize this, and before I do that, I want to point out that I have got my mouse or my cursor right between the letters O and N in the very last line of the first paragraph. So let's go ahead and minimize this. I'm going to bring up Lex. Now, this is the desktop version, and it's very, very similar to what you see in the browser, but you don't have the distractions of all of the extensions and tabs and other things that you have going on inside of Chrome or Safari or whatever you're using. But I wanted to point out that the collaboration features are very apparent. You can see exactly where I'm at in the Safari version over here on the desktop, just like Google Docs. And if you are a die-hard Google Docs user, it's part of your workflow, you need it for other reasons, well, you can go ahead and share documents right back up to Google Docs with a single click. Nice touch. By the way, you're looking at the share sheet, so we can add other users, download the file as Markdown or a PDF. Basically, everything you'd need to do is right here inside of the share option. And just like Google Docs, you can leave comments. Not everything has to be AI. I can select a line, leave a comment. I'll just call this test, hit submit. And it's going to show up just like it does in Google Docs, but without all of the Google-ness around it. There's also a great versioning system built into this tool. So if you want to try something a bit more radical and not have to rely on undoing things, you can go ahead and create a new version from exactly where you're at. Just click at the top, hit create version, and then I've got version 2 here. All of the existing comments are still there, but I'm free to revise this. Like maybe I decide, all right, I don't want this paragraph at all. I can delete it. And if later I change my mind, I can go back to version 1 and everything is exactly where it was when I made the switch over to version 2. So that is Lex. And with the bundle volume 2, we are going to get $30 worth of AI credits for premium models such as GPT-5, Claude 4.1 Opus, and others. Next up is FreePik. Now there are a ton of tools baked into FreePik. In fact, we can go to all of the tools here and you can see them. There's even a Canva-esque designer. So you can click on, this is not the main part of the tool, but it's there. So if you wanted to generate some kind of, actual, it looks like a certificate of some kind, you can do that all inside of this tool. But really what it's best known for is video and image generation. So let's focus on that. All right, here I am in the image generation section, and you just enter your prompt in up here or upload an image as a starting point, and then you can choose which model you want. You can use Flux, you can use Google, you can use GPT, whatever you prefer. You can generate an image right here inside of FreePik. I'm gonna go ahead and generate an image here, but full disclosure, I am on the free plan, not the AppSumo plan. So you might see some things inside of the settings that are a little different than you will get on the AppSumo plan. First up is style. So after I choose my model, I can go ahead, the model's gonna be the main thing that dictates the overall quality of the image. Then I can go ahead and choose a style, and they've got a ton of different presets here. Basically what you wanna be thinking as you're thumbing through this is like, what type of photo do I want this to look like, or what type of image am I trying to create? Is it anime? Is it a painting? Is it a nice black and white portrait? There's gonna be presets for everything. So I'm gonna do cartoon fun right here, and you can see I don't need to worry very much about the prompting because I've got these presets available to me. As far as composition goes, this is where you're telling the AI where you want things inside of the image. They've got a lot of great presets here, but if you want something a little bit different, you can add your own own reference image. It can be just a hand-drawn indicator of the person goes over here and the bicycle's over there, or whatever you're generating. Of course, you can leave some of these blank. It's just there if you want to get a more specific result. Like maybe I want to go under effects and make this a gold glow like it was taken outside right at the sunset. I can do that very easily. Characters, I can choose a character from this list. They do have the ability to upload characters as well. You can create a character right over here. If there's a specific object you want to be in the image, you can upload it over here or choose one of their template objects. And you can even set up your color palette so that if this is something related to your brand and you wanted to show off your brand colors, you can do that as well, even creating your own color palette using hex codes. And of course, we can choose how many images we're going to generate as well as the resolution. I'm going to go with a 16:9, generate 4 images. This is a sumo wrestler eating a taco while using his laptop. And boy, is Flux fast. You hit the button and the images are there immediately. Here are some of the results as I scroll through them. Man, I remember doing this back in the day and I was lucky to even get something that looked like a taco. This looks amazing. Heading over to the video section, that is probably where FreePik is best known because there are so many amazing video models available. You just simply choose the model up here or leave it to auto if you don't know what you want. Type in exactly what you want the video to do and it will generate it for you right there on the spot. Like this video right here is completely AI generated. Need some imagery for your next television commercial? You are good to go. No need to hire a full crew. Just go ahead and generate it with AI. I mean, really, any style that you're going for, you're gonna be able to pull it off with one of these models. So that is FreePik. What is included in the bundle is 84,000 AI credits. What does that mean? It equates to approximately 16,800 images or 560 videos over the course of a year. Of course, that's gonna change depending on exactly what model you use and how high the resolution is. You get the idea. Up next is Gumloop. And like I mentioned in the intro, this is like what if Zapier was created today? How would it look? How would it behave? What would you be able to do? Rather than just moving information from application to application, you could actually engage with the content in a lot more usable manner. That's what Gumloop has been able to pull off. Now, as I also mentioned, sometimes it's kind of hard to figure out how to use these tools. So I really like their idea of creating these guided tutorials. There's only 6 of them, but it should give you a good idea of how the tool actually works. So let's say I wanted to do some web scraping. Well, let's look at the guided tutorial for that. It's got each step inside of the flow here. That's what an overall process is called. And then it's going to go through and tell me exactly what to do to get my desired results. And what are those results? Well, it's going to scrape a company website, extract the name with AI, and then save it to a Google Sheet. Obviously, you can do things more complex, but we're just learning the tool here. Here are all of the nodes that are included. You can see they want me to click on core nodes to see an entire library of additional nodes. And that's kind of how the menuing system works here. I can use AI. So after I gather some information, I could use AI to write an email with that information as part of it. It's really a beautiful system. Everything is drag and drop. Like the guide here is telling me to drag and drop this right here. And now I've got a node added to my flow and I can simply connect the 2 nodes together. Using the scroll wheel, I can zoom in and out on the canvas so that it's easier to read things. And as I hover over a node, I'll be able to see the inputs that were gathered from the previous node. So in this case, it's using a web scraper to grab a specific URL, which of course you could do that dynamically, but this is an introductory lesson. So we've got our URL in here, and then I want that content that this node gathered to show up inside of this box. So let me go ahead and just drag and drop the input right inside of that form. So that's how I can get information from one node to the next. Now you can see the rest of this node is actually extracting the company name to plain text. And then I want this to go ahead and be written to the Google Sheets node, which was also conveniently added for me as part of this tutorial. So I'm going to go ahead and connect up the extract data node into the Google Sheets writer, and that's going to give Google Sheets access to the company name that was extracted. Now, how did it know the company name exactly? Well, it took the scraped web data that we got up here, use the AI extractor using GPT 4.1 mini. There are other models available as well. And then it's going to write that to my Google Sheet. But very similar process here. I would just grab the output of the last node. It's now input to the next node, drop it into the company name section, which is a field inside of my Google Sheet. And now I can go ahead and test things out by running the workflow. And now our flow is completed and we can see exactly what happened. So I've got my inputs and outputs right here. If I click on that, I can see there's no input here, but it did scrape the website data. Here's everything that it got off of the website. Now, of course, it took that content and ran it through the extract data node, and I can view the inputs here. So it got its website content, which is the exact same thing we just saw, and it was able to use AI to extract just the company name, which is Gumloop. And then in our final node, of course, it wrote that to a Google Sheet. We've got the company name as the input and then a link to the sheet right over here. Let's open that up. And then there you go. We've got our Google Sheet with our company name added. Now, of course, this was largely done for us in the guided tutorial. You would need to create your own Google Sheet, connect it up to Gumloop, and make sure you've got the right columns. But other than that, just drag and drop the information where you want it to land and you're good to go. There are a ton of integrations in Gumloop with NPCs so they can do things for you on your behalf. Connections to things like Notion and Reddit and GitHub, Salesforce, HubSpot, Monday.com. A lot of top shelf tools are available. You'll be able to have NPC access, which is incredible. So that is Gumloop. We are going to get 4,000 credits per month, a single user, 4 concurrent runs, but unlimited flows and unlimited triggers. So there you have it. That is Bundle Volume 2. I highly recommend picking it up with my link in the description. Be sure to leave me a comment if you got it before it sold out. I'm not joking, folks. It will go really quickly. Hit like if you like the video. Subscribe if you like videos about software for your online business. My name is Dave Swift. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you very shortly with another video.